Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Chasing Gazillions. Not the same as making millions. Here with Anthony and Anthony Bowling Group. Another episode where we're bringing you information that's important to you and your family. Hey, before I jump into it, yes, I've been gone. Yes, I did take a much needed break. We went cruising to Aruba and I took the whole family, and I will share those photos and videos and all that later. But just to know, if you do ever get a chance to go on a cruise, we went on Royal Caribbean, Oasis of the Sea. We had a great time, and we really had a nice time. It was really a nice boat. Wasn't their biggest boat. They have some other ones called Icon. Anyway, wasn't their biggest, but it was nice, and it was really. And if you don't get the Wi-Fi package, you are cut off from the rest of the world when you are out there at sea. You can't call, you can't text. This technology, it was rough, but we got through it. We got through it. So we're coming to you today with another important conversation from Villareal VJ Johnson, your next Ward 7 council member. We've been talking to him. He's been coming to us, sharing us the information that you need, pointing us towards what's important for you as a resident of Ward 7, a voter, someone here who's helping you to cut through it all. And today's topic, too many choices. You know, there are 10 people on the ballot. It's too many choices. It's still too many choices. And all of these choices can't be winning choices. And so rather than have me give you just what I think about it and all the choices, we like to instead bring in a subject matter expert, someone who has been involved in DC politics too long for a number of decades, but more importantly, has been working as an advocate for you, the resident of Ward 7, and have him share with you his take on where we are and where we're going. VJ, welcome to the show.
Hey man, welcome back. While some of us are resigned to driving to West Virginia for a mountain weekend stay or Deep Creek.
Is that where you took the seniors? You took a bus load of seniors, like 60 passenger bus load for Mother's Day. Is that where you took them?
Yeah. We went to Charlestown. We went to Hollywood Casino. We went to West Virginia.
You took a busload of seniors here from Ward 7 to Charlestown, West Virginia.
Yeah, we do it all the time, man. It's one of the ways that we raise money to support the scholarship that we give out from our association.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All the time. Yeah, they love it too, man. We switched up. We normally go to Delaware Park, but we went to Hollywood Casino this time. Yeah.
And that's just some annual event you've been doing. That's not some prop. That's not something that you have brought about to do for seniors during this election year. Oh, now I'm nice to my grandmother. I prop her out on her wheelchair and tell everybody, hey, here's my grandmother. I'm nice to her. Truth be told, I haven't seen her in 8 years, but now she's my grandma. That's not what we're saying we do here.
No, man, it's what I've been doing. It's a theme out here, man. It's a theme. And, the theme is I've been working hard for the residents of Ward 7 for over 2 decades. And this is one of the many things that I do for our community. I picked it up off of Miss Sheila Brown and Miss Nancy Harris, who used to run this as a fundraiser for Hillcrest, for the Hillcrest Association. And this year I did it last year I did it with their help. The year before I did it with their help. This year I did it actually with my mom. She took over, and she did a really great job. And as always, they always have fun. We do raffles, we do giveaways. They don't have to want for nothing, and they come back happy. And this is their way to contribute to the youth.
Yes.
We give out $15,000 worth of scholarships and $2,500 increments, awards. And this is something we've done from the community since 2015.
The senior activity is helping to raise money to give to the youth.
To go to college, yeah.
To go to college.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's something I would like to expand as the council member. And it's something that I talk to other civic leaders about. And I'm like, if our one neighborhood can contribute $15,000, I envision a ward that can contribute $100,000 because we have 29 neighborhoods, and all neighborhoods don't have an association. But there's probably about 15 associations in Ward 7. And so if we can give 15,000, we ask everybody to meet us halfway, and we can get to 100,000.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let's talk about it. Let's get into it, man. This is a subject that needs to be addressed and needs to be addressed head on, directly. Come on.
Too many choices?
Yes.
Yeah. I wish it was here. We did a meet and greet, and I think they asked me about this. And I saw the video on social. It's about a 7-minute clip where I compared this election to Baskin Robbins. And as long as Baskin Robbins been around, I'm not sure if I know anybody who knows all 31 flavors, right? And when we go to Baskin Robbins, we all know what we're choosing. We're choosing the staples, the vanilla, the chocolate, the strawberry. And my favorite is butter pecan. And maybe I may do cookies and cream, right? I don't venture too far into the deep abyss of the 31 flavors at Baskin Robbins. But hey, I don't think nobody does. I don't know anybody who goes too far away from what they know is their top choice, right? And your flavor is your flavor. What you like is what you like. But, when you can't choose, you do what? You choose vanilla. You choose what you're used to. Neapolitan. When you get the three, I don't know how you was raised, Anthony. I'm thinking you raised like I was raised. But remember at the birthday party, you used to peel the ice cream out of the little packets, and you had strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate.
That's right.
Keep it basic. Choices are overrated. But we want people to understand that there's going to be 9 losers and 1 winner. And we also want voters to know that you're not choosing the person who can, quote unquote, win. You're choosing a person that can do the job. And that's what we're presenting to people. And it doesn't matter who has an endorsement. It doesn't matter who has what special interest outside of the ward supporting them. What matters is who your neighbor believes will do the job for them, which is making government work for the Ward 7 resident, which is what I've been doing.
There you go. Exactly. So there are a lot of information that the residents and the voters are being bombarded with. A lot of marketing materials coming into the mail. There's TV shows. As you mentioned, candidates have endorsements from outside interest groups who are flooding them with lots of money to buy lots of flyers, banners, and pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Paper doesn't vote. That's true. But it does give the appearance that the person with the most paper and the loudest speaker well, must be the one who is going to do the best for the residents of Ward 7. And why wouldn't that be? Why wouldn't that be the person who's the loudest isn't going to be the one who's going to serve the needs of the residents the best?
Well, let's take it, Angel. Oh Lord, let's take it to high school. Let's take it to high school. Let's take it to student government. Let's look at it. You vote for your student president. You vote for the homecoming king and queen. They're two different positions, and I think this younger class of candidates is trying to make this about popularity, trying to make this about the homecoming king or queen. The homecoming king and queen don't do nothing but be ceremonial. But it's your president, it's your student government president that works for the activities, that work to debate and fight for your interests against the school administration. So we got to remind people we're voting not for the person that's popular, that has all the pageantry or all the pomp and circumstances or all the bells and whistles. We're voting for the person that could do the job. And that's what we remind residents. And every time we go to a community, we deposit signs. People take up signs and switch our signs out. They be like, we know you. Thanks for stopping by. Come back. We'll host a meet and greet. I would tell my neighbor to the left and the right of me to vote for you. And we're getting closer and closer to our win number, and it's documented. We know who's voting for us. We know why they're voting for us. And as those others are still decided out there, maybe 45% of the eligible population that can vote, still undecided. And every time we show up, it's a no-brainer for them.
Wonderful, wonderful. You know, that was a great analogy here you talked about with the high school, and as a high school student, by analogy, the voter today, we voted for the homecoming king and queen because they were the most popular and we liked them. But here's the interesting thing: as I thought about it, I didn't know what the student body president did for me as a student. I don't know what is the benefit and the value of that role. It seemed like an important role, student government president, and I think that's what the voters here who are still undecided or still are faced with 51 flavors to choose from. They're not certain about the value and role of the council member and why we should be electing someone who is capable and competent versus someone who has a lot of flyers that suggest that they're popular.
Well, moreover, let's talk about whether or not you knew what the president did for you. You knew the president wasn't the homecoming king or queen. Those are two different people.
That's right.
And so you assume, whether you know what they do for you or not, that they're smart, they're studious, they might be unpopular, they might be quirky, right? But
That's
you
right.
know they are important because they're about the work, right? They're about scholastic achievement, right? And they got their book bags and they're carrying their books, right? Unlike the popular homecoming king and queen who's super cool with an entourage, right? We know that to be true.
That's right. We do.
They're two different people, period.
That's right. They
Oftentimes,
are two different.
and throughout my junior high school, college, they never were the same people. The student government president was never crowned king or queen. They were different people.
That's right. Because they bring a different set of skills, knowledge, and competence to those roles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when you're voting for a council member, there are different sets of values that you should be considering when voting beyond simply the pageantry that comes with signs and banners and TV ads.
Here's the thing I told a group of people yesterday in a conversation. The job of the council member is to make decisions. Now, what they make decisions on, right, is also important, but their job is to make decisions. So you want a person who is decisive, right? Somebody that can make a decision. Leaders make decisions, and oftentimes leaders get to be unpopular because they have to make decisions that's going to have half other people agree and half of the people disagree. So you're always going to have someone like you or dislike you based on a decision that they have to make. Popular people don't make decisions. That's why they try to maintain likability, because you don't have to be responsible. You don't have to be definite. You don't have to take a position. You can just be likable. Hey, yeah, all y'all can come to my party, right? But when you have limited space and limited resources, no, all y'all can't come to my party. Now you're going to be unpopular. So you don't want to make that decision, right? But the reality is, I make decisions. I make the best decisions available to me at the time with the information that I have and my experience I can pull from to say, well, we've seen this before. This is the best course of action. I've heard everybody. I've heard what you got to say. I know you disagree with me, but it's okay, because the benefit to you from this decision that I'm making, you will like in the end. Anthony, you're a husband, you're a father. You struggle with your children taking out the trash or making up their bed. You struggle getting your children to understand why you got to make the decision that you need to make. And I understand that you are a proud father of 2 college graduates now. And I'm sure with this recent graduation from one of your children, you can think back to some time in high school when they didn't want to take a test, or they didn't want to fill out a FAFSA form, or they didn't want to go to tutorial. And you say, you know what? I don't care what you want. This is what's best for you. I'm going to take you, and I'm making this decision because I know the future for you. And I know what you're capable of doing. And I know, because my experience told me from my mistakes that you can make a better decision, and I'll make it for you. 2 college graduates.
Yes, and you're absolutely right, and that resonates with me as both as a Ward 7 resident, as a voter. That resonates with me, that having someone who has that experience, that has been earned, that wisdom that has come through working through a numerous decision making processes in the various roles that one would have here, is an important quality to have as we're going forward in this ward, in this community. We're going to be faced with having to make some difficult decisions and difficult choices with limited resources as we're going forward. And it's going to become important that we have a stalwart, that we have someone, a parent, someone who has vision, who the vision that has born from experience.
Listen to what we're losing. Okay. People need to know what's at stake. I can promise prosperity. I can promise enhanced quality of life. But what do people really respond to? They respond to a fear of lack. they respond to a fear of left out, being neglected, being vulnerable, being underappreciated. We look at the current council member who is 81 years old, full of experience as a council member, experience as a director of an agency, experience as a chairman of the council, experience of a mayor. Man, that's a lot that we're going to lose. And he's 30 years older than me. I'm 15, almost 20 years older than some of the choices in this race. So there's a gap that needs to be bridged. That's why we're building bridges and connecting people. But what I can say is that I have been working with that council member, with our ward, with the government for over 20 years. And some of these candidates were in middle school, maybe high school. Some of them graduated from college and on the ANC. So, I have the experience, and that's what we're selling. And we tell everybody 6 months of campaigning does not negate our 20 years of serving the Ward 7 resident, making Ward 7 one, or building bridges and connecting people to what they want by making the government do what it's supposed to do for the Ward 7 resident. And on top of that, you got your 6 months of campaigning, you got my 20 years of service, but I'm also campaigning. I'm also talking to the people that I've been helping for the 20 years. I'm also bringing our base of support, marshaling our resources, and moving them towards victory. And everybody knows what's going to happen, right? They just don't want to believe it. And they have to believe how they have to believe about the things that they have tangible through their campaign apparatus, because they just don't have what I have. And that's experience working with council members, experience working with government, experience tackling complex issues to bring resources to Ward 7, and making the government work for Ward 7 residents. I'm the best at it.
You are. And so on that point, let me just say it out loud. I have had the opportunity to work with multiple organizations who are seeking to accomplish, from my vantage point, a similar objective. Let's say these 5 groups are all trying to save young Black males in Ward 7.
Mm.
And I because I have the benefit as their real estate professional and understanding their real estate needs, I'm involved, and I get intimately involved in the operations. And then I share with those 5 directors. I say, hey, you know what? There's like 4 other groups that I know of that are doing just what you're doing, seeking to save the same group of people that you're doing. Have you ever considered just consolidating all your resources and all into one bigger organization where all your capacities could be leveraged and you all collectively could do more? I bring that example up to say, with so many choices, 10 persons who come to this race at various starting points. Some persons literally were retiring from their federal government job that they had been at for I don't know, whatever time it takes for you to retire, and then they decide to enter into the race. Other persons have been working in their other W-2 employment, housing, or other things, and now they've decided this is a new career for them, to serve the residents of Ward 7. And I say to them, hey, great ambition. You want to do these things for Ward 7. But at this point in the race, have you all considered, the other 8 of you all, just combining your resources and forces behind a candidate who clearly has the skills, wherewithal, and competence to move the entire ward forward, coming together. And I offer that, and I just wonder what your thoughts are about the other candidates just getting behind you and folding up their camps and saying, you know what, this is what's best, not for me personally, not for me and my W-2 income, not for me and a new job, not for me and my popularity, but for the residents of Ward 7, I'm going to fold up my shop because statistically, I can't win. I can't win, but instead, I'm going to help VJ win.
Well, it's tough, man. It's tough. I jumped into this race January 12th, and there were a number of candidates already out there running. They were garnering or working to garner support on likability. And, I looked and I observed, and like, again, I know everybody in this race and I talk to them on a regular basis. I have a group chat with them. And in some capacities, I try to advise them on how to make this better for the voter, so we could talk about issues. So the moment I jumped in this race, we made it about issues. And there's been a bunch of conversations about too many choices or consolidation. But unfortunately, man, Anthony, egos are egos. People have special interests they're beholden to. People have um, uh, perceptions of the reality that they won't challenge against facts. And people don't like other people, right? People's supporters don't like other people. So, that ideal where people will come together for the greater good of Ward 7 is why I'm running, because they won't. We are at a crossroads in Ward 7 where it's the individual selfish achievement versus what is best for the collective good. And I've been trained by some of the best, greatest civic leaders and minds, not just in Ward 7, but in DC and in the country. And I understand how Black America has gotten what it's gotten over the years, and it's because of collective community. Those civil rights Blacks, those in the silent generation, those in the baby boomer generation, they understood that we could have more together. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's what I am, and we entered into this race with the vision of transforming from community man to council man. And the reality is, Anthony, the community man is what makes me. It's my DNA. It's the heart of my service. But I have grown to understand the job of a councilman, and I understand how to make decisions about scarce resources, and I know how to use those scarce resources. Again, I'm going back to the house, so everybody understands. You make $10,000 a month, you live a lifestyle that's $10,000 a month. Some people live a lifestyle that's $15,000 a month with $10,000. Some people live a lifestyle that's $7,000 a month with $10,000 a month. Some people save, some people are in debt with credit. But it all comes down to a decision, right? And I have the experience to make the decision. Would I like to have others consolidate with no chance at winning? Absolutely. But maybe not, right? Because whatever you're doing or whatever they're doing that doesn't give them a chance at winning may not be what we want to bring into our shop. We have a chance of winning. Statistically, we have a chance to win. We definitely are one of the more experienced, if not the most experienced, at making government work for Ward 7. So we have a knowledge base. We have a relationship base. So, we will welcome everybody, and we continue to help people because, again, people respond to what they're afraid of. And what we know the voters are afraid of is the wrong person getting the power and the influence and the authority of the council seat, and they will not benefit as a result of that, which is why we're telling them, understand your choice. The best choice is Villareal VJ Johnson. He may not be the popular person, right? But he is the best at doing the job.
They say if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. We've had this happen before where the residents of Ward 7 have made the popular choice, and then we have suffered for decades. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think slightly differently. I see where you're going, and I don't disagree. I think when I got involved, Kevin Chavis was the council member. He had did 12 years, and he was an education reformer, which is why we get to choose 12 choices every year for where our children will go to school. Okay. And that's his contribution, improving public education, empowering parents to do more for their child's education. But that was a very unpopular decision that cost him his election, which allowed for Vincent Gray to win. And Vincent Gray has been mayor, chairman, council member, and he's retiring. So the voters haven't really experienced this in a while, where you're choosing a choice for the future, not for who you dislike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Historically, the voters would say it's time for that person to go. Who is the best person to beat that person? And let's vote for them if they're competent, capable, and committed. And so in the Ward 7 history, Vincent Gray was that. He was a director. He had experience running multi-million-dollar organizations. He was older. He was mature. So he was the right choice for a change. When he went on to higher office, he did an endorsement. He endorsed a person that was in office for 10 years, and people have strong opinions about the effect of that person to deliver for Ward 7. And I think people are like, hey, man, we got to get it right this time, because the future of what's best for us hangs in the balance. And we are still waiting for our equitable share of the city's prosperity. And Ward 7 hasn't gotten to experience the economic boom that the rest of the city has experienced over the last 10 years.
Exactly. Hey, let me throw this up if I can. There it is. There it is. Tell the people there's a QR code up on how the people can still join the campaign. Talk to everyone about the campaign, where it's at, how many days are left. I know there's been early voting and the numbers have been coming in. When is the last day to vote? How can they participate in your campaign? Because your campaign is not folding up and joining someone else's, is it?
No. Why would we do that?
Why would we do that? Of course, you're not doing that.
Yeah. I mean, look, join our team, volunteer and support to make the difference. We know that some candidates are stuck. They have the 5-to-1 match. They're fair elections candidates. They've garnered some support. They've garnered some endorsements. And I don't think they have the courage to pull out. But the truth is, there are going to be 9 losers, right? There's going to be one winner who's going to go on to the general election and possibly become the next Ward 7 council member. Others, they're committed to their singular issues. They're committed to their values and their belief systems. And this is a democracy, and this is what democracy looks like, messy as it is. I like North Carolina sausage, but I don't like to watch them make it. It is messy.
It is messy.
But I do like it fried in a nice chili or stew, right? So look, if you want to join the winning team, if you want to be a part of a very, very engaging and responsive, accountable team that is winning the hearts and minds of Ward 7 Democratic voters, just go to vjforward7.com. It's VJFORWARD7.com. Our volunteer base is growing. We have over 50 passionate neighbors, not outsiders, neighbors, not special interest groups, neighbors, not paid canvassers from the shelter, neighbors who are volunteering their time, their talents, and their treasures to make sure I get elected to serve the best interests of Ward 7 residents.
Yes. Everybody, Villareal VJ Johnson, your next Ward 7 council member, here on Chasing Gazillions. Ain't the same as making millions. Afternoon with Anthony Bowling and the Anthony Bowling Group. VJ, thank you so much for coming on to the show. We appreciate the time. We appreciate your energy and your passion. But most importantly, we appreciate your commitment to the residents of Ward 7. You have been here doing yeoman's work here on behalf of the residents of Ward 7. And in this new role as council member, you will have more authority, more power to do more for Ward 7.
Yeah, for you, the resident. Right?
For you, the resident. That's right. And
We're
that's
gonna
what
be
it's
out.
about.
Look, we're going to be out again. We got forums this week. We got pop-ups this week. I'm making calls. I'm knocking on doors. We're being very strategic now with our door knocking because we know where the undecideds are. So we're going to the undecideds and we're bringing them on. We're bringing them on in, and they're excited to have a home that they feel secure in, and we're going to win. Prayerfully, it may not be a large margin, but we're going to win. And we look to PG.
But it is winner takes all. It's like one and done.
I just need you to vote one person more. And we saw what Angela Alsobrooks did. She was outspent 8-1, outspent 8-1, and she won the election by 12 percentage points. She was outspent 8-1. Her competitor had $63 million, outspent her 8-1, and her competitor lost by 12 percentage points. So we're not bamboozled or baffled or bewildered by the pageantry. We understand who we're talking to. We're talking to you, the Ward 7 voter, and you know better, and you will make the right choice when you're ready.
That's right. I love that. That's a great, and that just happened. That just happened last week over in Prince George's County.
Yeah,
where that competitor had banners and signs and TV
commercials. Them commercials.
It was everywhere. But the people saw through that. The people were like, "Hey, man, that's just noise. That's just rhetoric. Yimity, yimity, yimity. You just making noise because we know who is going to represent us, the residents, the people."
Listen, Anthony, he had commercials with people saying, "Don't vote for her."
That's right.
He had other elected leaders who she has helped their career politically.
That's right, exactly.
And say, "Don't vote for her." But the people are smarter than the politicians.
That's right, exactly. And they can see they can see that that's exactly what happened. And people can see when you have been helping others for 2 decades, as you have been, and you've been mentoring and helping, people can see through this hocus pocus, hoobity stuff that they throw out there.
Hey, look, one of my favorite movies is The Wiz. And if little Toto can figure out the wizard is a bunch of smoke, I know the Ward 7 voters will figure it out.
They will. Yes, they will. They will indeed. All right. Hey, everybody. Villareal VJ Johnson, everybody. All the best.
Going back to Harlem.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Peace out.
Take care. Bye.